Yo guys, it's your boy JJ back with another video. Today I'll be walking you through a dark YSL beat. You'll hear artists such as Fugger, Gunner, Lil Key, the whole YSL collective. It's going to be a nice beat. I'm going to walk you through the melody, the drums, but let's get straight into this. Firstly, I got a preset from Analog Labs called 23 Celesta. I came up with this chord progression right here. As you can see, this was a chord, but I just dragged it down a bit to give it a nice little delay. Added a few top notes, and then just played around with the chord to make it sound more melodic, make it sound more rhythmic. This is what it sounds like. So yeah, that's the melody as a whole. And as you can see, just to give it a tiny bit of a switch up on the second part, added a few little accent notes on the top just to give it a bit of variation. For effects, we got an EQ cutting off highs and lows. We got some RC20 with the VHS preset just to give it a bit more of a vintage sound. Added a very slight delay just to give it a bit more of an echo, a bit more like ear candy. And of course, that Valhalla vintage verb. Next up, we got a preset from Mellotron, and it's called Strawberry Flute. It's a very nice flute sound. I really like using this preset a lot. And this is a melody that I came up with. It's a very simple one, very repetitive, and I used triplet notes for this melody. As you can see, I use triplet notes just to give it a bit more of a nice bounce. It's good to keep these kind of beats a bit repetitive when it comes to top lines. You want to keep it a bit simple but also catchy to the ear, and that will allow for the artist to have a lot more room to rap on, as well as the listeners who enjoy it. This is what the melody sounds like. Hey, sounding kind of nice here. And one thing with YSL beats, you'll hear a lot of like flutes, bells, you'll hear strings, you'll hear brass, there's a lot of instruments you can go for when you make a YSL beat, but I decided to obviously go for the dark aspect. For effects, again, I cut off a few highs, unwanted lows as well, then a bit of reverb just to give the sound a bit more fullness. Lastly, in the melody, I decided to use a preset from the soft pads bank in Analog Lab, and it's called 06 Scanner Pad. I pretty much took the chord progressions from the original melody with the bells, and I just played them like halfway, and I just kept that repeated along. This is what it sounds like. As you can see, it's a very simple pad pattern. It's just to add like a little textural layer to it to give it a bit more, again, fullness, texture, vibes, of course. And for the presets, I cut off a lot of highs and lows, just specifically wanted to narrow it down. It's a pad, not supposed to be like the main thing. It's a nice little texture. Then I added some delay, and I kept it on the Pong preset, so I'll just bouncing back and forth between the headphones, give it a bit of a nice little texture. And with that being said, this is what the whole melody sounds like together. As you can see, that's a pretty nice hard beat. It's a wavy vibe. It's allowed, like, it's not too crazy, but it's just enough to give the artist that room to go nuts on it. And again, for a YSL beat, I think this goes really nice, and actually, dark ambient beat. Let's get into the drums. Firstly, we have that good old Lex Luger slap clap, and generic clap pattern, and this is what it sounds like. Next up, we got a hi-hat, and as you can see, I kept it originally when I made it a two-step pattern, and as you can see, I played with the velocities to give it a bit of bounce. But then, whenever I removed the notes and I added some rolls, I just kept the velocities a bit lower. Kept it simple. Again, nothing too crazy for the hi-hats, but again, a little bit of spice here and there. And this is what it sounds like. Then for the kick, you know how we do it. We always have to max the velocities out, like, to another level. Always max your kick velocity out to get that extra punch. I came up with this pattern. This is what it sounds like. Boom. Next up, we got my favorite part, and you know how it'd be, the so what I did, it looks a bit crazy to be fair, but I followed the root notes along the whole way. And then what I did was I added a few slides, a few glides here and there. And if you want to add glides, when you add a note, you just click this, and then whenever you click one in, it'll have a gliding effect. Or you could just double click a note and you can just turn it on. And as you can see, I've maxed out all the velocities across my 808s. That is a must. You always want to have them heavy punching drums. And you see how I've cut off here and here? These two 808s have brought the velocity to 0. It's to give the 808s a bit more of like variety. Because what will happen is you'll hear the note play and it'll cut off, adding a nice bit of tension to the drums. With all that actually being said, this is what my drum pattern sounds like. I think that sounds stupid hard. Like, these drums are nuts. Like, honestly, I was really happy with this pattern. You know, giving us a bit of variety, a little pizzazz here, there. 4 effects on the 808. I cut off a few of the highs and frequencies below 30 Hz, as a human ear can't pick it up. And then I added some fast distort. I think the preset I used was some oomph, and then I just took the mix down a bit. Next up, we got a simple snare pattern, and yeah, very, very simple snare pattern, and this is what it sounds like. Is very, very simple. And last but not least, we've got an open hat at the end of each 4 bar, just to get, you know, give it a nice little bit of pizzazz. And this is what it sounds like.
Another one. You smart.
For my open hat, I just took the out knob a bit higher, so it would make that open hat a shorter open hat. I think that sounds much better with the beat, but I'd highly advise using that trick, messing with that out knob. You always want to mess about with this little setting area here. You can do a lot of cool stuff with all of your one-shots or drums. And now, with all that being said, this is what the drum pattern sounds like. Ayo, and that sounds hella hard. Like, I can really hear Young Thug going off on this, Gunner, Keys, and you know what, like, if some of you guys think this isn't really a YSL beat, I think it is, but I try to add my own flair, because think about this, right? When an artist, when they listen to a beat, and when they're making beats, and they're just trying to find something to rap over, they're always trying to push themselves to new sounds. So you want to kind of take their old sounds and try and mix it in with some new stuff, which is what I was trying to do here. However, I thought this sounded super dope. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, of course. You know, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to do all that. Any, you know, recommendations, anything, any opinions down below. I will always read the comments. And I'll play the full beat at the end of the video. But it's your boy JJ. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.